Isn't Kurt such a great speaker? He's a tough act to follow there, so I hope I don't disappoint. A couple of things. Thank you all for coming here tonight. This is a great event. Who would think you were in a hangar right now? What a great event. I was going to start this brief introduction about the free clinics with a break dance, but after I saw what those gentlemen did out on the Florida floor, I won't even give it a shot. A couple of things. I'm going to start with a question. I'm going to get into a quote, and then I'm going to tell you a story. The question is, would you rather be successful or would you rather be significant? Just think about that for a moment. Successful, significant. I'm going to argue that it's better to be both successful and significant. With great success comes the opportunity to be greatly significant. To make a difference is our duty as citizens of this world, both locally and internationally. I would say that success without significance is fleeting, but success with significance is everlasting. We spend the first half of our life trying to garner things, become successful, and then at some point, it's important that you measure your life by how significant you've become. Americares gives me the opportunity to become significant. There was an Iranian-born inventor by the name of Java, and he said, "I don't wish to be everything to everyone, but I would like to be something to someone." Let me take you back 2 years. It was December 31st. I was on 123rd and Broadway in West Harlem. I was in my daughter's garden apartment. It was a basement. Don't let anybody fool you. And we had about 4 or 5 or 7 or 10 mojitos, and we were talking about what our resolutions were going to be for the next year. And after we went through all the typical things, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to lose some weight, I'm going to be a better this, I'm going to be a better that, we started really getting down to what mattered. And we said, you know what? Let's make a group resolution. The group resolution was, let's make a meaningful difference in a complete stranger's life. I challenge all of you next December 31st when you're sitting around trying to sort out what your resolution will be, to take that challenge and say, let me make a difference in a complete stranger's life. And that's what Americares actually enables me to do. Let me share a quote with you for a moment. Dr. Maya Angelou, a 20th century poet, novelist, educator, civil rights activist, and author of I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, said, "I have learned that people will forget what they said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." What a powerful statement. People will never forget how you made them feel. To me, that's what being a medical volunteer is about. No one remembers whether I prescribed the right antibiotic or I ordered the right test. It's so much more important about the way you make people feel. The people that come to the free clinics every day are oftentimes overlooked by society. They're told that, well, you can't get this, you can't get that. You know what? The free clinics don't work that way. We tell them, you are important. You do matter. I care how you feel. My biggest challenge in the free clinics is to get out of the room. Dina, the clinic medical director, the clinic director comes in and tells me, you know, Pat, we have other patients here. You have to get out. I just love talking to the patients and being there for them and being able to hear their stories and understand what it is that I can do for them. I really appreciate the ability to make them feel valued. But more importantly, they feel valued, and this is what sustains what I do. Let me tell you a little bit. I'm on a stopwatch here, so I got to be very careful how long I go. Let me tell you a story, because I think you really need to hear this story. Let me take you into the free clinic for a minute. This could be our free clinic in Danbury, this could be our free clinic in Norwalk, or this could be our free clinic in Bridgeport. Or better yet, it could be our free clinic anywhere around the globe. This story happens every day. 21-year-old male, 21-year-old man, prime of his life, begins to feel some pain in his right leg, just above the knee. Not much to really concern him, just figures, whatever. The pain doesn't go away. It worsens over a period of time. Didn't know what to do. Lived with this pain for over a year. One day, while roughhousing with his brother, which for those of you who have sons know that that's a common occurrence. I have 2 boys, and yeah, roughhousing is a common occurrence. One day while roughhousing, the pain worsened. It got to the point where he couldn't bear it any longer. A good friend of his got online and sorted out where he could get some help. They came across the Broderick Americares Free Clinic of Danbury. On the first visit, one of the skilled clinicians there, an APRN by the name of Jen Ober, examined Frederico and knew there was a big problem, a serious problem. An obvious bony mass of the distal femur, the lower thigh bone, was detected. The considerations were that this is likely a tumor of the leg and this is not going to be good. They arranged to get an MRI of the leg that night. No delay within 24 hours. It was done that evening and it revealed a large bone tumor, suggestive of what's called a giant cell tumor. Dina Valenti, who's our clinic director, got in touch with Frederico and she had him come in for a visit. I happened to be doing the shift that Wednesday afternoon and Dina said to me, "Pat, there's somebody I need you to talk to. This is the story, this is what we have, this is what we found. You need to tell him the results of this test." Not an easy challenge for sure. The results were scary, and as we told him the news, his brother was with him. Frederico stood there, shock on his face. His brother began to break down and cry. What was going through that young man's mind? Was my leg going to be amputated? Was this a metastatic disease that was going to cause me to have chemotherapy? Could I potentially not survive this? Was I going to have a change in my life that would not allow me to work, to dance, to play soccer, to do those things that we all love to do? That's when the team at Americares went to work. Dina, who's like a bulldog with a bone, went to work. Through her persistence and considerable connections, I might add, and also appropriately being a pain in the ass, she got an appointment for Frederico with an oncologic orthopedic surgeon at Yale New Haven Hospital. The type of tumor Frederico had occurs in 1 person per 1 million people annually. Obviously, not a common occurrence. The surgery quickly followed, and the tumor, although extremely aggressive and involving both the bone and the muscle of the lower leg, was able to be scooped out of the bone and filled with an allograft bone cement. The leg was salvaged. After significant rehabilitation, physical therapy, and a lot of hard work on Frederico's part, he was able to restore the functionality in the leg, and as of his most recent MRI, there is no evidence of recurrence. How am I doing on time? So now you say to yourself, that's just a story. That's not just a story. That's someone's real story. That's the story of their life. That's the story of their pain and suffering that they endured. And that's the story of an Americares free clinic that came to their aid. It made a meaningful difference in a complete stranger's life. It closes the loop of that New Year's resolution with about 7 mojitos on board. You know, there's few things in life that you can feel good about. There's few things in life that you carry to the grave with you. My wife, Linda, who's a registered nurse, is here with me tonight. And she told me this a long time ago, and she tells me a lot of stuff that I don't listen to. But this one particular thing I listen to. And she says, when you leave this world, there's 2 things you take with you. You take love and you take knowledge. Nothing else matters. Love and knowledge. We should all strive to do that to the best of our ability. Achieve more love and achieve more knowledge. But just to prove to you that this is not a story and that this is a real story, there's 2 people in here that I'd like to come up on the stage and just show you that this is a real story. And by the way, you will probably see this individual on the dance floor after dinner. I'd like to introduce Frederico and Dina Valenti.